Yeah.
Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome to Ali's World of Finance and welcome to Stock Market Daily. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. I've got a few things to talk about today. So we're going to be covering the Ali's World consensus for AT&T, so we're going to give the results. And we're also going to talk about the markets. We're going to talk about some stocks that reported earnings because they were greatly affected. And there's actually a lot of stocks that I want to talk about today, but I'm going to have to move some of them into tomorrow's video because it would just make this video way too long. So, but in this video, we'll talk a little bit about Microsoft. We'll talk about eBay. Let's see what other ones. ETrade. We'll talk about, there's a few. And we're also going to talk about Amazon because Amazon announced that they're going to be selling Kenmore products. And so that affected a lot of other retailers and a lot of other stocks that sell appliances. And so they were affected by it, and a pretty big effect, by the way. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk a little bit about that because it's pretty interesting. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. So looking at the AT&T consensus, the Ali's World consensus rating for AT&T, we did an analysis video on AT&T stock, and I give you the option of rating it as a strong sell, sell, hold, buy, or strong buy. So here are the results. We had a total of 22 votes, and let's see here. So there was no votes for sell or strong sell. We had 18% of the votes going to hold. We had 5%, we had 18% going to hold, and then we had 77% going to buy, and we had 5% going to strong buy. It looks like Ali's World consensus here. It looks like all the viewers and everybody voted, and it looks like we're all pretty darn bullish on AT&T stock. And my vote went to buy. I didn't want strong buy, and I didn't want hold. My vote went to buy. And so anyway, so if you were on the fence, it looks like we're all pretty bullish on it. But anyway, 22 votes, and it looks like pretty positive here. So some went to hold, but pretty positive overall. Okay, the next consensus poll question is going to be, so in this video, leave a comment below. It's what is your favorite gaming stock? And here are your options. You can choose between Electronic Arts, ticker symbol EA. They do like FIFA and Madden and what else do they do? They do Battlefield. So they have a lot of like pretty heavy hitter games. And then your other option is Activision Blizzard, which is actually my favorite. So my vote goes to Activision Blizzard, ticker symbol ATVI. And they've got Destiny, they've got Overwatch, they've got Call of Duty. So they've got a lot of games as well. And then the third option here, the last option, is going to be Take-Two Interactive Software. And so their ticker symbol is TTWO. And they produce games like, they own like the 2K franchise, so like NBA 2K18 is a game that's coming out, and it's going to be for the Nintendo Switch, by the way. And they have, let's see, what are they, Grand Theft Auto, so they own Rockstar. So Grand Theft Auto, which is like, probably like the best-selling game in history. And what's the other one that's coming out soon? It's the cowboy one. Man, I can't believe I can't think of it. I'm supposed to be a gamer, and I can't even think of the name. Oh my god, I can't believe I can't think of the name. Okay, well, I'm sorry guys, I can't think of the name, but there's like a cowboy shooter one that is like very similar to Grand Theft Auto, and I can't, it'll probably come to me during the video, and then I'll just be like, oh, it's that. But anyway, okay, I'm sorry, I can't think of it. But anyway, Take-Two is a pretty popular stock. I've made videos on Take-Two and Activision Blizzard. I like both of them, and I will leave links to those videos down below. Someone actually asked me if I've made a video on Activision Blizzard, and yes, I have. Or actually, they asked me to make a video on Activision Blizzard, and I've already made one. So I'll leave the links to those down below in case you want to see them. I haven't made one for Electronic Arts, so if you guys want a video for Electronic Arts, let me know. But anyway, take your pick and vote for one of those three, and I will have the results for that in a coming video, maybe like in 2 videos or something. I like to give it a little bit of time to get as many votes as we can get. So anyway, make sure you make your vote, and mine goes to Activision Blizzard. Okay, so moving on here, looking at the markets today, the Dow Jones is down 0.13%, NASDAQ is up 0.08%, and S&P 500 is down 0.02%. Looking at some popular stocks here, Chipotle is down. I think I've seen them down before too, so they're probably down a pretty good amount. Home Depot is down, and we're going to talk about Home Depot because that has to do with everything that happened with Amazon, so we're going to talk about that. Verizon is up a little bit. We were recently talking about AT&T, but Verizon is up a little bit. Next up, I want to talk about Amazon, and I want to talk about some of these home improvement stocks that just got absolutely destroyed today. So what happened? Well, what happened was that Sears announced a partnership with Amazon, and they're going to be selling their Kenmore line of home appliances through Amazon. And this is horrible news for competitors like Home Depot, Lowe's, Best Buy. All of their stocks just completely tanked today. Now, you could make the argument that a lot of home appliances have already been selling on Amazon, which is what some of these reports are saying. But you also have to keep in mind that the whole Kenmore line is not offered through Best Buy or Home Depot or Lowe's. So that is still competition for them, because those companies, those retail stores don't offer that product line. So that's direct competition with what they offer. And now it's being sold on Amazon, which means that it's going to gain a lot more traction. So this is not good news. Overall, it's not good news for these home improvement stocks. Now, looking at how the stocks were affected, Amazon pretty much kind of went unchanged. So it looks like during the day they were up 0.17%. In after hours, they went down 0.27%. So kind of just didn't really make a big impact. But if you look at these other ones, look at Sears here. Sears went up over 10% during the day. So over 10% that they went up, and then a little more in extended hours trading. So they ended up going up, looks like they ended up going up over 11%. That's crazy in one day. And then Home Depot dropped during the day over 4%, and then they bounced back around 0.5% in extended hours trading, but still down massively. And looking at Lowe's, oh man, Lowe's went down over 5%, 5.55%, and then in extended hours trading, they went back up just 0.47%, so they were still down over 5% overall for the day. And then Best Buy was down almost 4% during the day, and then they bounced back just a little bit, 0.45% in extended hours trading, but still down over 3% overall for the day. And then looking at Whirlpool, which is a competing brand, they went down over 4%, bounced back just a little bit in extended hours trading, but still down massively. So a lot of these home improvement stocks, Best Buy that sells appliances, and Whirlpool, which is an appliance brand, they just got absolutely destroyed. So it's crazy to me how Amazon has so much control over all of these different stocks. It's like they have them by the neck. And people just keep saying, people who maybe are a little bearish on Amazon that say that they're completely overvalued. I agree, they're overvalued. Their PE ratio is like sky high. But at the end of the day, it's like, is that going to prevent you from investing in them? Because at the end of the day, they're just going to keep taking over. I mean, they could care less what you think about them. They could care less if you think that they're overvalued. They're going to keep just taking over. Every single day, it's like we have a new news article of how they're taking over some industry and how they're affecting so many other stocks. And maybe Amazon stock doesn't change too much, but you look at all these other stocks and they go down 5%. Just from what? From selling Kenmore? Like, are you serious? They start selling Kenmore and they make all these other stocks drop 5%? Like, that's crazy, guys. Like, this is, I don't know. I think it's getting to a point where it's insane. I mean, a lot of reporters and a lot of analysts have said that Amazon isn't even deeply heavy into the appliances area and destroying some of these home improvement stocks yet. They think that they will, but they're not really there yet. And they just announced that they're going to start selling Kenmore, and all these stocks drop like 5%. I mean, it's crazy. Like, all these stocks, investors just completely panic. Just, you see Amazon coming around the corner and you just completely panic. And so, I don't know. I mean, the way I see it, it's like, I'm not invested in Amazon, but my girlfriend, when Amazon dipped under $1,000, so they made it to $1,000 per share, and then they dipped under that, I told my girlfriend to invest in Amazon. And some people said that I was dumb for giving her that advice because Amazon is too high already, but Amazon went right back up to over $1,000. Now they're at like, what are they at? Like over maybe like 1,020 something. And so 1,028. So I don't know. The way I see it, I mean, I don't really know if there's ever a bad time to get into Amazon because they're just going to keep taking over. But we'll see. I mean, maybe they will dip. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe they will. Maybe there will be like a massive correction for Amazon. But at the end of the day, I kind of feel like it's more going to be like smaller dips, and overall they'll just kind of be trending upward. I always forget that the camera records me in the opposite way. So when I go like this, I think it shows you guys like the opposite of that. So I think I have to go like this to show it trending upwards. But anyway, so that's Red Dead Redemption. I just thought of the game the game is called Red Dead Redemption for Take-Two. So that's what the name is called. I knew it was Dead something. I was thinking like it has a DNA with, I think it was Dead something, but it's definitely Red Dead Redemption. I think the number two, so number 2 is coming out, and I think that one got delayed a little bit. Sorry to get off track. My brain is like all over the place sometimes, but that's what a master's degree does to you. Like, it just, like, your brain gets fried when you're doing a master's degree. So anyway, and I'm almost finished with my master's degree anyway, so in case you were wondering. But anyway, okay, sorry about that, guys. I completely went off topic. But anyway, that's Amazon. That's how I feel about it, and that's what happened. So next up here, ETrade. ETrade announced their results here, and they reported Q2 earnings per share of 52 cents per share, and that beat expectations by 4 cents per share. And they reported revenue of $577 million, and that was up 21.7% year over year, so absolutely fantastic. And they beat their revenue estimates by $23.37 million. So just fantastic numbers from ETrade. And looking at their stock here, their stock in just the regular trading, it was down 0.17%, but then in extended hours trading, it went up 2.78%. So their stock did go up. And I think at one point it was up even like more than like 3.5%, but I think it kind of went back down a little bit. But anyway, ETrade, I use ETrade because my biggest stock is Nintendo, ticker symbol NTDOY, and I can't get Nintendo stock on Robinhood because Robinhood doesn't offer it. So I have to use ETrade. I use ETrade exclusively for Nintendo. I used to use ETrade for all of my other stocks, and then I just started selling all of those stocks. I took profits on all of them, and I moved most of them over to Robinhood. I went over to Robinhood, and I bought back a lot of them. Some of them I waited for them to dip, and then I bought back. But I basically transferred my whole portfolio over to Robinhood because you just can't beat commission-free trading. You can't beat that. So I like ETrade. I got nothing against them, but ETrade versus Robinhood, I'm choosing Robinhood, and I will just use ETrade for Nintendo stock. Okay, next up here is eBay. So eBay stock went down a pretty good amount today, and let's look at why that happened. So they reported their Q2 results. EPS, they reported 45 cents per share, which was basically the same as expectations. Revenue at $2.33 billion, which was 4.5% increase year over year, and that beat expectations by 20 million. Okay, so pretty good numbers, right? Okay, well, let's keep going through it. So gross merchandise volume came to 21.5 billion. That was up 3%. Revenue up a little more than 4%. The company added 2 million active buyers across all their platforms, and that came to a total of 171 million global active buyers. Okay, the board also approved an additional $3 billion in stock repurchase authorization. Okay, so I'm not really seeing anything bad here, but when looking at it here, if you take a look at the stock and the way that the stock has been performing, you will find that it's been performing very well, and a lot of investors were hoping that they would actually beat expectations by a lot more and that their guidance would be a lot higher going forward. So let's look at their guidance. For Q3 guidance, they gave guidance of revenues of 2.35 to 2.39 billion, and that's above the consensus of 2.32. So okay, so a little bit higher than the consensus. And EPS, they gave guidance of 0.46 to 0.48 versus the consensus of 0.48. So basically the same guidance of the consensus, even a little bit lower. And for the full year, they see revenues going to 9.3 billion to 9.5 billion versus the consensus of 9.42 billion. So again, basically in line with consensus. And EPS of 1.98 to 2.03 versus consensus of 2.01. So kind of the same, possibly even lower. So the guidance wasn't really that strong, and that sent their stock down. So it's kind of funny, right? I mean, we give expectations, but you know, it's not enough to beat it. You got to beat it by a lot, and you have to give great guidance. But when looking at their stock here, their stock during the day was up 0.27%, but then in post-market, they went down over 4%, almost 5% that they went down. So they took a nice hit today. So I don't know, if you were bullish on eBay and you were trying to get in, I mean, you could be seeing a nice dip here. It could continue into tomorrow, so we'll see what happens. Okay guys, last one here is Microsoft. So Microsoft reported their Q4 results for their 2017 fiscal year. I think it ended on June 30. But they reported their results, and some of the numbers were really strong, and they beat some expectations. Their cloud numbers were also very strong. So we're going to talk about some of their numbers here. And so when looking at it here, their EPS was at 98 cents per share versus expectations of 71 cents. So they beat expectations. And then revenue looks like that was at 24.7 billion versus an expectation of 24.27 billion, so really good. And when looking deeper at some of these numbers here, intelligent cloud revenue was at $7.4 billion, and that was up 11%. And now looking at Azure revenue, so Azure, we know that they cut some jobs previously to focus more on Azure and stuff like that, and it looks like Azure is doing actually very well. So Azure revenue grew 97%. Wow, that's crazy. And it also led cloud services up another 15%. Now, however, enterprise services did drop 3% due to decline in customer agreements, but productivity and business processes revenue was up 21% on the year, and that was at $8.4 billion, with a 13% growth in Office consumer sales, and they also saw $1.1 billion in revenue coming in from LinkedIn. Now, some negative stuff here. Personal computing revenue was down 2% to $8.8 billion, and that was due to falling Windows Phone sales. And we've talked about Windows Phone in the past. They're going to probably keep declining and just get phased out eventually. And then they also saw a 2% drop in Surface revenue as new products came to the market. Surface laptop is too expensive. Anyway, so that's Microsoft. Looking at their stock here, during the day they were up 0.48%, and after hours trading they were up another 1.33%. So very good for Microsoft, and they reported some strong numbers here. So anyway, that is that. So I think that's about it, guys. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to vote for your favorite gaming stock. So Activision or Take-Two or EA. Make sure you leave a comment below and make your vote. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching. If you're new, please subscribe. If you liked the video, please hit the like button. Really helps me out a lot. And if you watch the video all the way through to this very moment in time, then I'm going to say you are Amazon, because you guys are a monster. You guys are just taking over everything. And you guys are like the best subscribers I could ask for. Like other YouTubers, they see you guys coming around the corner and they're like, oh, watch out, guys. Like that's all his world subscribers. Like you guys are like Amazon. You're like scaring everybody. So, so thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are the best. And I hope that you all have a wonderful, beautiful day and that you all take care.